All right, guys. Welcome to our first set of video notes for Earth and Environmental Science. Um, sometimes I might just post a PowerPoint, or sometimes I might post a video. Both times you're expected to copy down your notes into your notebook. Take your time, draw the pictures that are there, and make sure that you have a proper note set to refer to. All right. No science class can start without talking about the scientific method. This is a method of experimentation, and it's used to explore observations and answer questions about the world. All right. The scientific method happens in a few steps. Um, the one thing I wanted you to pick up from that Amoeba Sisters video is that yes, this is the scientific method on paper, but it doesn't mean that science always happen in this order. By the way, guys, if I'm going fast, just pause, write what you need to write. If I say anything extra that's helpful, write it down. And because I need to finish these videos in 15-minute increments. Otherwise, I'll have to get a paid version of Screencast. All right, so pause if necessary, write any annotations, and so on. Scientists communicate their work through peer-reviewed journals or they present them at conferences. So be careful when you're consuming scientific information and make sure that it is from a legitimate source, not just the good old internet. Science helps to inform our everyday life. That is more obvious and evident, especially in this time, dealing with a pandemic than any other time. All right. It is the scientists that we are looking to for data and information to help us inform what steps we should take in dealing with this pandemic. Other terms that you might hear are control, constants, qualitative, quantitative, independent variable, dependent variable, observation, and data. Again, the scientific method is a process used to answer a question. So the question is, do plants grow larger with more fertilizer? You have 3 plants, and you're going to think about what are you going to change? What are you going to measure, right? The thing that you change is your independent variable. The thing that you measure is your dependent variable. Your dependent variable depends on the independent variable. How high the plant grows depends on how much fertilizer you use. So the independent variable, what are you changing? The dependent variable, what are you measuring? Some things stay the same throughout the whole experiment, whether it's the amount of water you give to the plant, the type of soil, the sunlight, the pot, the size of the pot. So a bunch of things need to stay constant while you're doing this experiment because what you cannot do is have an experiment where you're changing everything. The control group, that is a group that is not changed experimentally. So if you're testing how well a fertilizer works, you have a group that doesn't use any fertilizer. You should do your experiment as often as necessary. A good and true experiment is one that when you do it consistently, you get the same results. For example, since I think the first year, second semester, when I taught this class, we started doing the hand sanitizer lab, where we tested the effectiveness of different methods of cleaning your hands. And what we found over the years, over the 6 or so times that I've done it, is that every time, except for one time, Dawn dish soap was actually one of the best things that you could use to clean your hands. And so that kind of tells us that, hey, this experiment is repeated a bunch of times and it yields the same results. It is a reliable result. It's important to understand the difference between accuracy and precision. Accuracy is how close you are to the actual value, not value. Um, Precision is how close you are to each other. So if I give a problem and everybody get what they're supposed to get, which is what I have, everybody's accurate, everybody's precise. But if everybody gets one answer when I have a different answer, y'all are precise, but y'all are not accurate. So maybe I did something wrong um, while we're not in the same place. First one would be both accurate and precise. The second one would be neither accurate nor precise. And the last one would be precise but not accurate. The metric system is the system that is used worldwide in most places except America. That's where we use mass, grams, and liters. These are our base measurements, right? As opposed to inches or pounds. Um, so we need to be familiar with how to use the metric system and how to convert within that. All right. It works on the power of 10. So a kilo is 1,000, hecto is 100, deca is 10, and the base, which is like, sorry, the base, which is like the normal unit, like grams or liters, that's just one. And so deci is 1/110, centi is 1/100. Right. An easy way to convert is to remember that King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. All right. King, K is kilo, H is hecto, and so on. And so to convert to a larger unit, you move to the left or you divide by that number. To convert to a smaller unit, you move to the right or you multiply. So every time I try to do the animation with this, it gets messed up. So let me try, oh, maybe I can use a laser pointer. So so here, if you wanted to convert from centimeters to millimeters, you find centi, you find milli, and that just tells you that you're going to go one decimal place over. So that would be 0.12. To go from hecto to deca, again, just one, no, not deca, deci, because that's little d, small d, all right? So you're going to go 4 places over, 3 places over. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 3 places over. To go from liter to kiloliter, you're going to go the other way, right? So you're going to go to the left, which is going to give you a smaller number, and so on. Same thing, no. To go from grams to centigrams, grams is a basic unit here. Centi is that way. So you're going to go that way, all right? So the shape of the Earth, it's an oblate spheroid, all right? It's almost a sphere. It's not a perfect sphere. It bulges around the middle, and the middle is the equator. Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. There are 4 spheres of the Earth: the atmosphere, the biosphere, the lithosphere. Some sources will say 5. They'll include the cryosphere, but the cryosphere is really just a part of the hydrosphere. The atmosphere is the invisible blanket of gases that surround the Earth. It helps to regulate temperature on Earth. The biosphere is all the living things and how they interact with non-living things. The hydrosphere is all the water on Earth, and that includes the oceans, rivers, and glaciers. Earth is 71% water. Water is a universal solvent. If you've had me in biology, you've heard me say that before. Water can be found as solid, liquid, or gas. The lithosphere/geosphere is a solid outermost shell on the Earth. It includes a crust and upper mantle. Earth is made up of lithospheric plates. So when we had our little earthquake, if you guys felt it recently, that was a movement of some lithospheric plate, and that's some of the stuff that we'll get into in this class. Draw this table in your notebook and fill in the blanks. So pause, draw the table, and make sure you fill in all the blanks. So just have what systems, what keyword you should think of when you think of that system, and some of the features of each of these systems. Not all, but some. All right. So lithosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere, hydros, water, the lakes, oceans, and glaciers. The biosphere is life, plankton, and forest. All right, so pause and make sure you write that down. All right, I'm gonna get into this a little bit, but I'm actually gonna record the rest of this in a different PowerPoint. I'm just gonna stop here. All right, so make sure you write that down. I'm gonna record the rest of this in a separate PowerPoint because I'm already at 11 minutes. Again, my time limit is 15 minutes. I have to make sure that I stick within that. So pause as necessary, write down what you need to write down, draw all relevant pictures. I think all pictures are relevant. And make sure you have a good, reliable note set because I'm thinking I might want to do some sort of a note quiz as an assessment because it's not like I'll be able to come to your house and look if you wrote in your book. I mean, you could show me on Google Classroom, on Google Meet, but okay, so we're stopping there.